Hi, I'm Nicky Luis and welcome to the guest list. In today's show, we're talking about marquees and how you can have a wonderful wedding under a big marquee. All the ins and outs about that when I talk to Megan from Raj Tents. A little later on, I'm also going to be talking to Anita Gatley from Anita Gatley Travel. Now, she is a travel specialist and she specializes in destination weddings. And in today's weather, wouldn't you rather be out in Fiji or the Cook Islands rather than in this cold weather? So we'll be talking to Anita a little bit later on. Now, when it comes to Hollywood, they're always dishing us lovely, lovely, juicy gossip when it comes to weddings. And in the last couple of weeks, been no exception. Now, one of the ones that really did get my attention was Jessica Simpson's wedding. And the detail is now starting to come out. And oh my goodness, from a wedding planner's perspective, just fantastic. But what I loved about it is no bridesmaid was in the same dress. And when you look at the styling and the reception, the colors that the bridesmaids were wearing, that's what she took into account with the palette that she used actually in the reception, which is just lovely. Now, Jessica's dress, that was designed and made by Carolina Herrera. It was just stunning. And the gold tones, they were also seen throughout the reception in all sorts of ways, on the tables, in the votive candles, just absolutely stunning. In Jessica's bouquet, she had sprays of wheat and they had been sprayed in gold. And then detail on the tables as well. On the menu, there were little mini sprays of wheat and those had been sprayed in gold too. So there were so many details that had been taken from one element into the other element and brought in. It was absolutely beautiful. And you'll also see in the pictures beautiful silk draping throughout the whole reception, and gorgeous chandeliers with beautiful rich colors, and the most stunning relaxed chill out area with couches and these beautiful fake trees with fairy lights in the trees. It was just stunning. So 10 out of 10 from what I can see for Jessica Simpson's wedding. Absolutely loved it. So there's my little bit of gossip with regards to Hollywood weddings. Now, joining me on the couch, Megan from Raj Tent Club New Zealand. Welcome, Megan.
Well, thanks, Nikki.
First of all, tell me, how did you guys get into the industry? Because you own the business with your husband, Richard.
That's correct. So my husband and business partner, Richard, good question. How did I get into the industry? My background is in health and fitness, and I was managing a health club in London, quite successful, and Richard was working for the Raj Tent Club in the UK. So when we looked to move to New Zealand, we thought, hey, New Zealand doesn't have these special, beautiful tents. We think they deserve that. So we thought we'd give it a try. So kind of tiptoed into the industry. I brought the management customer service side. Richard brings all the brains and how-to, and here we are. Yeah.
What are the points of difference? What types of marquees do you guys have?
So we've got everything from small little ceremony canopies, just 2x2, really cute for over the bridal party, all the way up to sort of dine up to 300 guests. And I guess our main point of difference is that we are cotton canvas, very heavy duty cotton canvas, cotton linings, so beautiful breathable tents and intricate linings or plain linings. There's quite a few different options in both the size and the style in what we offer.
And I suppose the word Raj kind of gives it away in forms of the style of marquee that it is.
That's right, yes, because they're all, Raj means grand or paradise and things like that, but also Rajasthan is where all the tents are handmade. From India, we have a warehouse there that do all our beautiful hard work. So yeah, it's good.
And they're not your typical white.
That's correct, they are cream with a beautiful scalloping, very heavy duty as I said, and then the interior you can line in different colours. So we have the plain white, we have the cream gold star, we have turquoise and pink and orange, and yeah, so it can have lots of fun with it as well as just going your beautiful classic as well.
But you can do any type of function.
Oh,
under a
absolutely.
marquee.
Baby showers, 40th birthdays, corporate functions, henna parties. Yeah, it's endless, and that's what makes it pretty fun as well. That we're not just all weddings. We're probably about 50% weddings.
How much of your job, or is it Rich's job, to go along and assess the site?
Absolutely, wherever possible. Richard will turn up first, a good few months beforehand, assess the site, assess the access, where we're going to get power from, all those sort of things that some people think, oh, here's a big yard, let's do something. And again, some people think their sizing's different, so Richard can measure exactly, how much space and where good access points, not only for the guests, but for staff, all sorts of things like that. We take the guesswork out of it and help plan the day. And then in saying that, because we've got such a variation in sizes of tents, we can make different configurations to fit the lawn or around a tree, or zigzag over a pool, or can suggest, hey, how about you half tarp this area and then put a tent there? We can do a walkway to here, or just pop a few pretty umbrellas here. That's our job, to help come up with solutions.
That's
really.
great.
Yeah.
And what about the actual putting up time? Because again, I can imagine a lot of people don't get how long that process can be.
Yes.
I'll just whip it up.
Yeah. So we will give the client a good estimation of what time it is. We turn up, and again, one thing from my health and fitness background, very big on health and safety, so we'll do a site assessment, risk assessment, and make sure, we need the site from this time and it needs to be clear, and the guys will come in and get to work, and then give the client a time from this time when it's up and safe, then you can start moving your tables and chairs in. So, we definitely just make the client as informed as possible, make everything as smooth as possible, so that everyone knows where they stand and we don't come into heads, and, we just want it to make it easy, really.
Would you provide them with a floor plan?
Yes,
Oh,
that's another service, complimentary service we have. And next year, another service we will have is 3D floor plans. That will be an extra charge,
wow.
but at the moment it's 2D. It comes complimentary as part of any tent that you book with us.
Now you guys have some furniture
That's
that
right.
you can provide as well.
Yeah, so we have, again, and it's made in India, it's beautiful low style wood furniture, and it comes in white wood or dark wood, and again, huge range of colours for the cushions, so you can jazz it up in lots of ways, or just keep it beautiful and neutral. And again, we're finding it really popular to have either a little lounge area near your bar, give your guests somewhere to move away from the tables and sit and mingle without feeling you have to be on the dance floor. And again, this upcoming season, we've got more and more weddings that are going, we just want all cocktails, so all of our furniture sprawled around, no set places, and yeah, just being able to think outside the box and have different options is really fun.
Yeah, I really like the cocktail style thing.
Yeah,
it's getting more and more popular.
More and more popular, definitely. And the food you can have is fun. It's little, walk and fork type stuff.
Lighting. Now you guys have lighting options?
Yep. So we've got our beautiful classic gold Moroccan lanterns. We've got the beautiful white chandeliers. We now have black chandeliers, festoon lighting.
What about flooring? Because I imagine that can be quite problematic, especially here in New Zealand. We obviously
not many lawns are flat.
no, and obviously, and sometimes it can be
rain.
Wet and it can be soggy or boggy.
Yes,
What do you do with regards to flooring?
So we have a beautiful bamboo flooring, which is called chitai matting, which we can install in our tents. And again, if it's wet or there's big undulations, then we'd suggest a floor be laid under that. And then again, you'll have the option of grass.
Now, what happens if somebody would like to come and see you guys and kind of see a marquee put up, or a sample of a marquee? How do they get to see you?
So two ways. Some people like to come and see one set up on the grounds, but we also have a showroom out in Howick, so that's got a mini tent set up in it with some furniture and things. So a lot of people, as soon as they walk in, they're like, oh wow, and you get the feeling of being in a tent, and we've got the lighting options set up and things like that, so it's nice, and it's a great way to have a nice conversation and look through the colours and all the things that we offer, and we can play around with furniture colours and draping and everything while we're there, so you can get a real feel of what their tent's going to look like and feel like.
And where can they find you on the web?
So we are www.rajtentclubnz.com.
I can highly recommend your marquees. I
Thank
love
you.
using them because they have such a wow factor. They
Yeah.
really do. Megan, thank you so much for coming in and chatting to us. After the break, I'm going to be speaking to Anita Gatley from Anita Gatley Travel. So So join me after the break.
The guest list is made possible with support from wedding champions who make your magic day possible. People like Edgewater Resort in Rarotonga, the perfect spot for all your family and friends to celebrate. And what a place to have that honeymoon. Thinking weddings and honeymoon, think Edgewater Resort Rarotonga. And speaking of dream holidays or a wedding overseas, talk to the expert on travel, honeymoons and romantic escapes, Anita Gatley Travel. Anita can identify all the idyllic resorts for that perfect honeymoon. Just moments away with a phone call. Anita Gatley Travel. Give Anita a call on 0508 Honeymoon. As simple as that, 0508 Honeymoon.
At Lavish Events, we are all about making magic happen. We take your dreams and turn them into reality. Considering every aspect of your wedding or event, from the decor and the styling, to the food and beverages, from the music and entertainment, to what everyone will be wearing. We ensure every element has a wow factor. With more than 14 years of experience, Nicky Luis and the Lavish Events team are all about ensuring that you have a stress-free day filled with incredible moments.
Hi, I'm Nicky Luis and welcome back to the guest list. Now, as promised, joining me now is Anita Gatley from Anita Gatley Wedding Travel. Welcome, Anita.
Thanks, Nicky. Thanks for having me.
So now you are a travel specialist and you specialise in overseas wedding travel and honeymoons. What a great job.
Yeah, fantastic.
I mean, it's kind of like a dream job. I mean, everybody would love to be a travel agent and getting into the whole travel thing. But then to top it all off, you do weddings too.
Yeah, that real touchy, nice, feely stuff, yeah.
That is just
It's
brilliant.
great,
How
yeah.
did you get into it? How did you get into this whole
Well, I've
industry?
been in travel, just celebrated my 21st year in travel as a travel agent. And then about 7 years ago, I decided that there was a real gap in the market. And did lots of honeymoons, and more people were starting to want destination weddings, and of course the prices of having weddings here in New Zealand is going up, so more and more people are wanting querying about prices and things. So I thought, I'm going to specialise in the destination weddings and actually do the whole of the group. And I started about 7 years ago, and it's going great guns.
That's fantastic. Now, when we talk about destination weddings, we're talking about people going overseas to get married.
Yeah.
Right. So are we looking only at the islands, places like Cook Islands and Fiji, or are we looking all around the world?
Well, predominantly South Pacific is because it's close, so Fiji, Raro, Samoa, which is becoming an amazing destination that's really on the up. But because I'm a travel agent and I can sell the whole of the world, I've got contacts in Las Vegas, in the Greek islands, Hawaii, Bali, Thailand, so really sky's the limit really.
Where are some of the really amazing places in the world that you've been requested?
I did one about 3 years ago in Santorini and have since been to Santorini myself, and you just have to look at the white, it's just a picturesque place to get married, the beautiful sunsets and the Mediterranean, and just stunning, absolutely stunning. And the Greek people obviously make it as well.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Very, very beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
Any places in the US?
Las Vegas is a big one for me. I've got a fantastic independent wedding planner that I deal with over there, Joni. She's done about 3 weddings for me, and as a wedding specialist, for me, it's all about doing the flights and the accommodation and the transfers for the client, but then having an independent planner that I can hand them over to is just gold, because I'm not actually there on the day. I don't know if the rain's, the weather's going to turn to custard, or if they need a wet weather venue, or if they want to have warriors coming in on a boat. The wedding planners are actually there on the day to organise that. So for me, it's about being able to hand my client over to those people. I'm kept in the loop if there's any dramas, but just having the knowledge that they're there on the day, they're the local people, they've got the local guides and they've got the local contacts. That to me, that's really important. But as I said, I'm there as the middle person, that if all does turn to custard, then they can come back to me.
Now let's talk about closer to home. So let's talk about the islands around us. Now, given the weather that we've got going on at the moment, it is freezing,
Yeah.
absolutely freezing cold. So I would love to be on the islands. If I was going to go to the Cook Islands right now,
Yeah.
where should I be going to?
Well, I found a little property. I was up there in February, went up and did a little recce, and I saw 30 hotels in 2 days. I
Oh
came
my
back
goodness.
absolutely shattered. So I had a really good look at all of the properties, but I fell in love with a little property that's not signposted. Most people won't even find it. It is in some brochures, but it's called Royal Takatimu, and it was just stunning. 10 little villas, all self-contained. They take kids over 12, so you can take your sort of teenage children if you want to, but it really looks after the honeymooners or the wedding people or people that just want that romantic escape. Beautiful
Nice.
white beach, and just stunning water, and you can snorkeling and swimming, and just lies with a book. You can do things. The thing I really liked is that they have these impromptu little get-togethers. So you might just be wandering around, all of a sudden they'll bring out some pastries and champagne and stuff, and just get a few guests together. And it's real. I loved it. It was just had a really beautiful feel. The villas are all new, and it's like a home away from home. And we stayed there for a night and just did not want to leave.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just beautiful.
Oh, that sounds divine.
Yeah.
Oh, take me there now. That really does sound incredible. Now, Anita, you mentioned that you went and visited 30 properties in a space of 2 days. So what would be some of your highlights, your big picks from those 30 properties?
Well, out of those 30, we did quite a few in Aitataki. In fact, we went into every single property in Aitataki. There's a beautiful one there called Aitataki Escape, if you can afford to go out there. But on the mainland, as I said before, Rarotonga and the Cook Islands itself lends itself to there's lots of choices. So if you really wanted something amazing, obviously Royal Takatimu and Rumours. But you've got the more affordable ones like Sunset Resort and Manuia Beach Resort, and they just do weddings fantastically. They have beautiful little gazebo areas, set away from their guests. But you've got the more affordable Edgewater. They have lots of weddings at Edgewater. And also for Fiji as well. Fiji is another area that they have lots of Australian weddings, so I really think that we can put a few more Kiwis in there. Denarau is really popular because it's so close, but I've just come back from 2 weeks on a family holiday with my family, and Treasure Island Resort, beautiful. They've got a beautiful little chapel there. They've just refurbished all of their property. They've got they actually spent a whole year being closed because they got hit by the cyclone.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, but that's
They've
been
done
fantastic for them.
A really good job.
And you go to Fiji for the Fijian people. They're great with kids. So if you've got lots of friends and family that are bringing kids, perfect. Take the kids away and they go do their own snorkeling and they feed the turtles and they just have a great time.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but then you've got your more upmarket resorts, like Vomo or Vatulele. Those all-inclusive Yasawa Island Resort up in the north, fully inclusive. But if you want something that's just out of this world, those are the ones you go to. And also too, there's cruising. You can lots of the cruising companies now, you can get married on board. So that's another option to think about. And people from this part of the world don't often think about that.
We don't, do we?
No.
We kind of think it's of an American type of thing.
Yeah.
It's a great option.
Yeah, but you can, just in the last couple of years, you can get married on one of the Kiwi 2 boats. So you can renew your vows. That's another area that we look at as well. So anything to do with romance and, just being together as a couple and being together with your family.
Fantastic. Yeah. I'll see you after the break. When we come back, I'm going to be talking further with Anita. We're going to continue our discussion about destination weddings.
The guest list is made possible with support from wedding champions who make your magic day possible. People like Edgewater Resort in Rarotonga, the perfect spot for all your family and friends to celebrate. And what a place to have that honeymoon. Thinking weddings and honeymoon, think Edgewater Resort Rarotonga. And speaking of dream holidays or a wedding overseas, talk to the expert on travel, honeymoons and romantic escapes, Anita Gatley Travel. Anita can identify all the idyllic resorts for that perfect honeymoon. Just moments away with a phone call. Anita Gatley Travel. Give Anita a call on 0508 Honeymoon. As simple as that, 0508 Honeymoon.
At Lavish Events, we are all about making magic happen. We take your dreams and turn them into reality. Considering every aspect of your wedding or event, from the decor and the styling, to the food and beverages, from the music and entertainment, to what everyone will be wearing, we ensure every element has a wow factor. With more than 14 years of experience, Nicky Luis and the Lavish Events team are all about ensuring that you have a stress-free day filled with incredible moments.
Hi, welcome back to the guest list. I'm Nicky Luis and I'm joined by Anita Gatley from Anita Gatley Weddings. We are talking all about destination weddings. Welcome back, Anita.
Thanks, Nikki.
Anywhere in Samoa that you would be suggesting?
Well, I went up to Samoa about 3 years ago, and they are just doing some amazing things since the tsunami, which has, obviously hurt their industry a lot, but they're coming up in leaps and bounds. There's a new little property called Return to Paradise, which is just about to open very shortly, and that's going to have a chapel on a beautiful beach.
Oh, nice.
Another little favourite is Seabreeze, which is just a quaint little property. It's only small, but they've got this most amazing restaurant and a beautiful little honeymoon beret that looks right out to the beach and the lagoon. It's just stunning. And probably my other favourite is probably Sinalei. Adults only, of course, but just a really nice place to get away for a couple, and you can easily go to Samoa for sort of 3 or 4 nights. I still don't think it's enough, but it's just nice to go and recharge the batteries.
It is nice. Obviously we live in an internet age, so what is the benefit of using somebody like yourself?
Well, the internet has been fantastic for me. It's good and it's bad. It means I can find information as well, and then people often come to me, they already know what they want or they have an idea. But the reason I decided to specialise is that there's so much information out there, it's overwhelming. So people have either no idea about their prices and all that sort of information. So they come to me, and that's my job. I can either go to a wholesaler or I can go direct, and it really depends on actually tailor-making the package for the client. So if there's just the 2 of them, it's quite different than if there's 150 of them. So it really just depends on going the extra mile, making sure that they've got all that information that they require. And the internet, it can be great, but it can also be, a nightmare. I had some clients just recently that did a little bit with me and they did the rest themselves. And unfortunately there were flight delays, which of course you have that flow-on effect. And it just means that if I have control of the booking, the airlines keep me involved. So if there's any flight delays, I can then let the transfer people know, so they don't give away their rooms at the hotel. So it's about having that total control, and it means that they've got someone that is involved in the whole of everybody's bookings. A bride doesn't want to have to be worrying about, someone gets to the hotel and it's not the right room they wanted, or, that's my job. And, I basically, make sure that all of that runs smoothly. They've got that key person to come back to if there's any dramas.
Now you mentioned about big bookings. So if you do have a big party of, whether it's 50 or 100 people, now I would assume then you have, in your position, better buying power.
Absolutely, and I'm really proud. In the last year, I've managed to secure some really good airfares. Fiji Airways came on board, so I have some really good specials with them, and now Air New Zealand have come on board. And what that does is it means that they can basically go and have a group airfare, so a discounted fare, but it's not as restrictive as what it used to be in the past. They don't all have to travel there together, they don't all have to come back together. So they can go within 14 days either side of when the wedding is, but it also means that the bride and groom get upgrades if they're available, upgraded to business class. They get lounge access if it's available.
Nice.
And they get that extra baggage allowance, so they don't have to worry about my wedding dress is really heavy. They're allowed that extra bit of luggage. And the difference between booking a normal airfare and booking a wedding is that people are planning, 18 months to 2 years in advance. And generally, airfares aren't available that far in advance. So there you go.
Wow. Now tell me a little bit about how your consultation process works with a couple.
Well, I've got a toll-free number, so I can deal with anybody with throughout the country. Obviously, if they're here in Auckland, I'll try and meet with them. But if they're not, we can just talk on the phone or we can Skype. I often get couples that one wants to go one place and one wants to go somewhere else, or one wants to have a wedding here and one wants to go overseas. And I guess it's just about, it's going to be your first compromise, getting married. And I guess it's just about making sure that they're on the same page. And I really try and get the couples together, because at least if I know that I've spoken to both of them, then I'm not repeating myself and not missing out things that they I haven't said to one of them.
Now, what I'd like you to do is just explain to our viewers exactly what a bridal travel registry is.
It's a great product, and it's one of those things that not everybody knows about. A bridal travel registry is where you get your friends and family to put it into an account, and it goes into my trust account. And it just mounts up, and then a couple of weeks before the wedding, the clients actually get the cash. And I like to think I work mine a bit differently. If you go to most travel agents, they give you vouchers to be used for future travel. I'll actually give you the cash. And it means that if you want to use it for your hair and makeup on the day, or your photographer, you've got that money there. Often I might get a phone call from people that are actually driving to the wedding and saying, oh, I haven't got a present, do you mind if I put it? And it's literally just, they give me their credit card and then the money just goes straight to the bride and groom. And the good thing about it is that there's no embarrassment. Nobody knows how much money there is. So if someone can only afford $20 or someone can afford $200, then it's entirely up to them. It can just mean that the bride and groom can actually get something that they want. Who wants to get another half a dozen coffee pots or towels that you don't need?
Exactly, as you say, especially for couples that have lived together, they already have
exactly
platters and a kettle and all of those things. So
exactly. And I find, I've just done one not so long ago, they really pushed it to all their friends and family because they really wanted it. They were going to Europe. They got about $5,000.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so how awesome is that?
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
They would have gone a long way to paying for their holiday
Well,
in
that
Europe.
basically paid for their 2 airfares to Europe.
Brilliant.
So, how amazing is that?
Great product.
And I manage it all. No, they don't have, the bride and groom doesn't have to do anything. All they just do is send out my information, and they just basically deal directly with me.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And is that something, do they put a card into the invitations, or is it something they print on the invitations?
It's up to them. It's becoming more popular now that they just do a PDF, and so I just send a PDF and out to the person that's contributed, and then they just print it out and then put it in their card.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So very, very simple.
and then so it's all in keeping with their own invitations and that sort of thing.
Great.
Yeah. So I charge a small administration fee, which is about $200, but other than that, it's all they get exactly what their friends and family have contributed.
I think it's great value for the service.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Anita, how do people get hold of you?
Well, I've got a website, so they can just look under www.weddingtravel.co.nz. I'm on Facebook, so Anita Gatley Travel Broker, and I'm posting things like that all the time. Some amazing photos and things come through that I like to put on. And I've got a toll-free number, so 0508 Honeymoon, and they can that'll just come straight directly to my mobile.
Fantastic, great. And you do post some fabulous things on Facebook.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm sitting there and it's freezing cold and this beautiful picture of somebody comes up and I think, I so want to be there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you so much for coming in and spending the time here with me.
You're
on the
welcome.
couch.
It was a pleasure.
I'm Nicky Luis. This has been The Guest List. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week.